Hi everyone. As Metropolitan Melbourne moves back into Stage 3 restrictions and most of regional Victoria moves to a place of easing restrictions, I want to assure you of the BUV Hub support and encouragement for the incredible work you are doing in our communities through your leadership and expression of God's love. These are strange, challenging and stressful times, and in the midst of them, we are committed to keeping you informed to the best of our ability. We're also here to offer pastoral care and serve the mission of the church with our available resources. Our vision is for you and your church to flourish, and this is not something we feel should be put on hold while we wait for this COVID-19 crisis to be over. Rather, we want to encourage you to wrestle with what it looks like to flourish as a church that produces Christ-like disciples who have a significant impact on society in these challenging days. To that end, I plan to continue a monthly video of encouragement. As an additional resource, we'll also produce a short video each month where another staff member of the BUV Support Hub will interview some of our church leaders on their perspective of what it means to be a flourishing church at this particular time. Today is our first in this video series. We trust it blesses and encourages you. Bye for now.
The vision of the Baptist Union of Victoria is to be a union of flourishing churches with Christ-like disciples that redeem society. And when used of a living organism, the word flourish means to grow or develop in a healthy or a vigorous way. Our BUV Support Hub has developed a flourishing church framework that looks at three focus areas of church life: congregational life, congregational character, and congregational mission. And today it's my privilege to chat with Allan Demond, Senior Pastor of New Hope Baptist Church, about four aspects of a flourishing congregational life: of discipleship, engagement, hospitality, and diversity. Welcome and congratulations, Allan. I understand that you recently celebrated 25 years as pastor of New Hope, and also that you and Janet have just become first-time grandparents.
Thank you, Bill. Wonderful to have a conversation with you this morning on these themes. And yes, we are celebrating as a family. In 1 week, we had the privilege of reflecting backward over 2.5 decades of ministry at New Hope, and then looking forward and thinking about next generations with the birth of our granddaughter, Hannah. And so just a wonderful season to reflect.
Yeah, that's great. And Allan, as you think about flourishing congregational life, and especially the four aspects of discipleship, engagement, hospitality, and diversity, what do you reckon characterises each of these?
Bill, I think every one of us as local church pastors wishes for the golden key in these areas. That word discipleship, the core idea of being a disciple, its root in the Greek language is the word learner. I like to think of discipleship as the experience of being with Jesus, becoming like Jesus, and then doing what Jesus did. And that concept of discipleship is an all-embracing and wonderful distinctive of us as the followers of Jesus. I think engagement has a lot to do with people's identity, so their sense of calling, their sense of gifting, with how people see themselves in Christ and with each other. When it's healthy, people engage because they have a sense of this thing that we're sharing is consistent with who God has shaped them to be, and they find their place. So as pastors, we have a terrible job trying to recruit people into slots, but a wonderful experience to help people find their pathway as the followers of Jesus. That's our challenge.
And Allan, what about the hospitality and diversity?
Hospitality is, again, a wonderful theme that helps us think about our openness to each other and to the community around us. So to function in a hospitable way is to have an open heart and behaviors that are focused towards others. And so diversity is the recognition that we're all different. There's, in our culture at the moment, a sort of politically correct way of thinking about diversity. It reminds us of pockets of our culture that are sometimes forgotten or marginalized. But I think what we have as Christians is the distinctive of a pathway to get there. It's a deep respect for every other human being. It is a willingness to listen. And so when we have a church that has multiple cultures, a church that has multiple socioeconomic groups, when we gather and are attentive to the distinctives of gender and what we can bring, if we can celebrate those differences, that's what it is to become a learner.
Thank you so much, Alan. Do you have any suggestions, clues, maybe a few for us, particularly in this season, about what stimulates growth or flourishing?
So we're in this very unique season, Bill, and we've just learned that we're entering into 6 weeks of lockdown. And none of us as church leaders are very thrilled about that. But it's the right thing. It's the right thing for our state. So we're processing how to live in this space. And I think in terms of discipleship, it's about going back to the basics. It's an opportunity for us to try and be with Jesus and become like Jesus. Solitude, silence, getting apart. And is it possible, that's the question I'm asking myself, in this next 6-week period to really prioritize that in a way that is not possible at other seasons? Is God giving me a gift? And then in terms of engagement, I think it's a season to help our people. We have 2 priorities at New Hope, care and connect. And we keep coming back and asking ourselves, how are we doing in terms of care? We're phoning people. We've got a regular email that goes out to members and supporters and to leaders and volunteers, and just keeping the communication up to speed. I try to pastor through those communications, and it's hard. So little feedback, but critical. And then connecting, helping people to find pathways into relationship in this season, and trusting God's Spirit to lead us. The Church of Jesus belongs to Jesus. And I keep reminding myself of that through this season, Bill. This is not my project to fix. This is God's work. And I am very privileged to be a part of it.
Thank you so much, Alan. And our hope and prayer is that New Hope and every BUV congregation might increasingly be described as flourishing in the growing of more people who follow Jesus, engage deeply with each other, open their hearts and homes as they extend God's welcome to others, and that there might be people from every age, stage, ethnic and cultural experience finding a context where they can feel that they can belong, both receive and contribute. Thank you so much for your time this morning.
Thank you, Bill.